Well, hey guys, how's it going? I'm Cyrus, and welcome to the Darkness. As his title states, I feel like Destiny is taking a moment to just poop on all of us and just twist us into a moment where the time that we've invested into the game just doesn't matter. But before we get into it, I just want to go ahead and let you know to go ahead and subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, and check me out on Twitch. I stream 3 days a week, sometimes on the weekends, and join my Discord. We're going to reference that later in the video, and shout out someone who brought up a really good point. And so jump in, join the conversation, and as always, welcome to the Darkness. Let's get into it. So earlier this week at Bungie, their weekly newsletter dropped and talked about what's going to be happening in upcoming seasons regarding weapons. Now, sunsetting of weapons is not new to the Destiny universe. It's actually, this would be the second time I feel like it would be happening, but it's something that still, even when it happened then, was just a salty move, not by Bungie, but just by the community to just not push for it. Like me, I don't know how I feel about letting go of those weapons that you invest so much time into, but let's just break it down a little bit. So what'll happen is a weapon will have about 4 seasons in total, about a year that they will last, and then when the next season happens and they bump the light level up, you're not going to be able to infuse past that previous season. So essentially you'll get a year's worth of use out of it in a competitive stance, maybe in raids or in competitive crucible, and then they're not going to allow you to push it any further than that. Now, see that as you may, you can see it as, oh, that's great, shakes up the meta, pushes us somewhere, or you can see it from some people like, I really invested time grinding that specific role, going for that pinnacle, that ritual, and then it's just poof, I can't use it in the scenes that I want. And I think this really is going to impact kind of the top elitists more than it will the average player. Now, that's not saying anything about the average, because I'm sure you have the guns that you love as well. But the people who took the time to grind for those specific roles, I think it's going to really hurt them and make them have to push for more grind. So I'm not sure how you feel about it. Personally, I was turned off by it real quick. You know, I took 2 seasons to grind to Fabled before they did the update. It's so easy to do it now, but you know, I was trying to learn the scene. I didn't have a consistent group, so I was sometimes solo matchmaking, and we all know how that goes when you're running into the glory rank, trying to get to Fabled. And for some of you, you probably still haven't hit Fabled. For a lot of you, you're thinking, psh, that takes no time. Well, it took me time. And so to get the Luna's Howl, to get the Recluse, you know, to push into those weapons that were pinnacle, that was a big moment. And now to see them just sunset off and not be able to use them in future seasons in a competitive stance, it just burns me up. And then currently you have the new light players, the ones who just came in, who are right now grinding, some of them, I'm actually carrying a few, to grind them and push them through Fabled so they could get those weapons, and now they're going to be competitive next season or so, depending on how that goes. So you can view that however as you want. I was really salty about it, but there's a guy in my Discord, his name is Afterburn85. He's a moderator for my Discord. Make sure you check out the link and jump that in so you can join the conversation. But he brought up a really good point, and I'm going to pop it up on the screen so that we can take a look at it. I'm going to read through a little bit of it so that we can see what is there. He brings up 2 really good points, and he talks about how, you know, it's good to see that a weapon should be seen as a trophy. You know, you were there for the time when it was in its prime, and then when it sunsets off, it leaves a memory for you. And that's, you know, that makes sense. I appreciate that, you know, I understand it, and where he's coming from is it really shifts the meta and pushes it in a direction that is a positive thing. Now, it's just, I don't know how I feel about it just yet. I understand where it's going, it just hurts a little bit. Now, it doesn't affect exotics, and it also doesn't affect some of the raid weapons from like, I think it's Last Wish and then the next raid. Those will actually continue and not be sunsetted. But I don't, you know, take that as you may. I personally feel like Bungie just crapped on us a little bit with that one. I feel like it was coming. It just hit me wrong. So the next part is where we're currently sitting with the competitive scene. You're actually watching gameplay from when I went on a trials run earlier this week. Actually, yesterday I jumped in with a team and we ran for a couple of hours, and they were actually really good players. They were most definitely carrying me, but as you can see, I'm getting some shots and things like that. But what I saw, even in my case, playing on a Friday, shortly after reset, we encountered hackers. I don't know if it's almost not every other game, but I feel like it was one of every 4 games, one of every 3 games. There was someone who was obviously aimbotting, and you could tell, like when you die and you can tell that they're tracing you through the wall. Everyone's covered this. Sir Demetrius, Rick Kakis, Mtashed, Frost, Lucky. They're all posting these videos saying, check out these cheaters. And you can see when they do that how glitchy their aim is when they move across. Now, I don't know anyone who runs mouse who like jitters their hand across the table. So it's pretty obvious when you see that. Some people could claim it as lag, but then you can see them have normal movement. It is, you can see it as subjective, whatever, however you want to see it. But anyway, you encounter it, you see it, everyone's had it. It's not someone being salty. I'm not coming from a position that's salty for that. I'm just saying, if we're going to have a game that is now free to play, Bungie has said, let's bring as many people into this community. You're allowing people to just make brand new accounts consistently, get that account banned, make a brand new account, and then continue to grind and use that cheating software. And it just puts some kind of anti-cheat. It's not rocket science. Put it behind a paywall. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but the moderation that goes for seeing these people, it's just not there. I don't know how many times I've taken my time at the end of a match to go and report someone, and I have no clue if that goes anywhere. Nothing at all. And, like today, or when the match you're seeing right now, I did report the team that they were cheating, and then like 8 matches later, we're matched with them again, doing this exact same thing. Just really, Bungie, take the time, really think about anti-cheat. Figure out how you're going to moderate, especially trials, these bigger events. And it's not just that. Last night we were grinding for spare rations for a couple people from my clan, and some guy jumps in randomly because we only had 3. And so he jumps into Reckoning, so we have 4, and he's just running infinite super for Sentinel Shield the entire time. As soon as he gets it, he pops it and runs it from the domination stage to the bridge stage to the Oryx, the likeness of Oryx. He was in super the entire time, and they were like, whoa, how cool is that? How much helpful is he? And it just baffled me that we had to sit there and see that consistently throughout that entire point. And it just proves, like, it's not just trials, it's not just competitive Crucible, it's anywhere. I bet you it's in raids. And I haven't seen it so much because I haven't done trials. And you can light tracker or Destiny tracker me. I'm not a fantastic player when it comes to Crucible, but when I did jump in, it was clear that they were doing it. So take that as a grain of salt, however you want to see it, whatever the case. And the last thing is just looking at the community as a whole. A lot of the videos, you can kind of gauge where a game is based upon, and this is kind of a weird way, you can kind of gauge it based upon what videos are being made on YouTube by maybe the popular YouTubers. If they're doing big weapon reviews, talking about lore, things like that, that's great. That's wonderful. Like the Fellwinter's Lie came out. Everyone jumped on that. Even I did a video. Make sure you check that out. How to get the Fellwinter's Lie. Everyone did a video. How to check out, how to get this. What's the review on it? And when something like that comes out, that's great. But when it's also followed by these kind of videos, Bungie, this is what we think you're doing wrong. That's a big indication that maybe the community feels that way. Even though that's only one person, that's one person with a voice that probably everyone else also has. And then if you check the comments, it's pretty much the same. I just watched an Mtash video, and I think it was dropped yesterday or maybe today, where it was talking about how he feels about cheating and the current meta, current things are going. And it just resonated with me, and his comments, just going through that, it was Destiny 2 is like Anthem 2.0. That's the video. And reading through the comments, it's just reading these people's thoughts and throwing it on there. It's crazy. And I really wish people would take the time and try to get into what the community's feeling with these games, because we as a community are the people playing this game, Bungie, and I hope that you take a moment and listen. You know, this has been what I know. This has been huge, that you switch from Battle.net over to, no, you switch from Blizzard over to Steam to combat any kind of hacking of DDoS and things like that. And now you're here and you're dealing with a different kind of problem, but there's yet to be a solution. So, Bungie, I'm begging you, please make a change. Do something. Bring an anti-cheat. Spice things up. I don't know what the answer is. That's not my job. I'm just a small YouTuber, content creator, Twitch streamer, but seeing it firsthand and jumping into it, it's a problem. And it kills everything. I probably would have still not had a fantastic trials card if cheating wasn't a thing, because, you know, there's still people who are really good who play the game and jump in there. But I wouldn't have had to stare at people clearly and blatantly cheating. So, guys, that's my video, and I hate that it was just a huge rant. I normally don't do these videos, but I feel like it's time for me to resonate with the community on how I feel. I love Destiny 2. I've been around in the Destiny universe since right after the Dark Below dropped with Crota, and you know, I've been there since then, and I love this game. I love Bungie and what they do, but this is questionable, and we saw a lot of this in the past, but just take some time. I don't know what the answer is, but an anti-cheat would be huge. So I'll end it there. Guys, thank you for sticking around. If you got around to the end, jump down in the comments and post the beautiful word of pineapple. That'd be the word, just jump at the end of it. Guys, if you want to make sure you check me out or follow me, all my social media links are in the description below. I stream on Twitch 3 days a week, as well as on the weekends. Make sure you check social media on when that's going to happen. Also, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you go ahead and ring the bell for notifications. And if you liked this, hit a like. If you didn't like it, thumbs it down. Whatever the case, you know, feel it. I'd love for you to smash that thumbs up button, because it helps me. And when I get those notifications that, you know, people are commenting, I'm like, ooh, look at that. Anyway, guys, I love you. I thank you. All the love that you give to the channel, and I'll catch you next time. As always, welcome to the darkness.